Earlier in the course we spoke about your general safety obligation, and one of those 4 obligations was a safe vessel. Now this next section, routine maintenance, will help you satisfy that safety obligation. It's important that you comply with your owner's manufacturer's operations manual. Every time you take your boat out on the water, make sure you do all your pre-departure checks. Make sure you look at your steering systems, your fuel systems, make sure you have a look at your propulsion system, all your electronics on board your vessel. Every single little aspect of your vessel, your bilges, your batteries, your starting systems must all be looked at very, very thoroughly. Keep everything in good working condition and make sure that you satisfy your general safety obligation.
So in this section, we're going to talk about carrying capacity labels. These must be visible to the operator. Let's start with the Australian Builders plate. This lists this boat's maximum horsepower and the maximum passengers it can carry. It tells us about the buoyancy level, which is basic, which means it just has flotation under the floor. With older boats prior to 2006, you have to have the Queensland Transport approved carrying capacity label, peel off however many it holds and put it on there and have it fitted visible to the operator so there's no outs for anyone. So on the back of the label is a meterage schedule which tells you how many persons in adults per metre a boat will carry. Now if you've got kids under 12 and boating in Queensland, they're classed as half an adult. So let's talk about the HIN number. It's located on the builder's plate as well. The other position you'll find is down the back. You'll find that it's number stamped into the hull. That's pretty common. You'll also notice here when it talks about buoyancy, this is listed as basic flotation, which means the boat won't actually sink to the bottom, but it may disappear under the surface. Whereas if it had level flotation, it not only has under seat or under floor flotation, it has side flotation in it, so the boat stays up level on the water. It's a good thing to clear up, people are confused with it. Welcome aboard. Let's do a full safety briefing through this vessel. Let's start with the life jackets. You now need to do a life jacket demonstration for all your passengers coming on board. So let's go through it. Doesn't matter which way you put this one on, over your head, arms through, pull down tight, bring it round, make sure you tie a nice big bow just here so it's secure. If you had to exit the vessel, hold down nice and tight or it's going to smash you in the nose. We'd exit through the rear of the vessel. If your life jackets are now under hatches or hidden in compartments, there's a new life jacket sticker requirement. This is now a new law. Up here in the glove box, we've got our torch as our signalling device. We've got a little chart of the area that we're going to go boating in. We've got a few manuals and we even have a fire blanket. You know, great idea that you could smother the fire. We also have our EPIRB. If we're going outside 2 miles, we're going to need to have that EPIRB. We need to have that registered with the AMSA sticker on it. It's free to do that. You can do that online. You can always double check it before you go on the test facility. It's a good idea. Come forward of the boat. I have a grab bag. This has a nice V sheet in it, which is the distress signal pretty much anywhere in the world. Also have a set of in-date flares. They only last 3 years. 2 red, 2 orange, complete set. That way someone can grab that bag in case of emergency. Also have some spare tools and some extra engine oil if we needed it by chance. Over this side I have the bailing bucket with some rope on it. Also have a full first aid kit. Everything's in date. So we've got plenty of drinking water. There's a few bottles in there, enough for everyone on board for the day. So as we come back through the dash, we have our sounder GPS. I'd always make sure that works. VHF radio. Make sure that's in on channel 16 and good to go. Back of the boat, we actually have the fire extinguisher. Always make sure that's in the green and we're good to go. Make sure you got the right size anchor. Make sure you got the right anchor for the bottom type that you're going to be fixed to. Make sure with your shackles they're nice and tight and they're moused in. I just used a zip tie. It's a pretty good job. Make sure the chain's secure. Make sure your rope's in good order and hasn't got any cuts or worn. And make sure, definitely, tied on at the other end. It's a big one. One last tip, make sure you keep the weight even in the boat. Don't have all your passengers one side. Make sure it's all evened out with every passenger on board and any weight that you got on board, big eskies, etc. I always tell people to remain seated, 3 points of contact at all times, both feet, one arm hanging on. Never have a problem. That's my tip for boating.
Once again, we've taken the time to give you a comprehensive list of all the things you need to consider below, so please take the time to go through.